Seku Nkrumah says the NDC's man is not forward-thinking, and Christmas 2019 shopping was the best in years, as according to a Dankwa Institute report.
That particular story about 2019 being best in sales is on the front page of the Chronicle, and this is some form of, if you like to believe it, research work that was done, which suggests that sales boomed. I don't know which the comparison.
Is it the year of return sales?
Yes. Anyway, but there's more than just that on the front page. Now, the PBC foundering in Ghana, there's also some 700 million debt. Workers also protest against haulage contracts, and contractor denies using fake certificate to secure UCC contract. Witness has no evidence against ex-Maslow's boss. This is according to the lawyers. And as Animwa insisted, I should mention, Psalm 82:2 is on the front page of the Chronicle. It says, "How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked?" And that's an important statement on the front page of the Chronicle.
And I'm wondering why Nimwa is particularly interested in the Bible quotes on the front page of the Chronicle.
They say that old women feel uneasy when dry bones are mentioned in the proverb. But
Actually, I think she mentioned that is the only Bible that she will read.
Wow.
yeah.
You didn't say it. Anyway, let's do the front page of the Gold Street Business. The Ghana Stock Exchange is beginning the year with 2 mega corporate restructuring deals. Government resists front-loading domestic financing needs as 2020 election year begins. The story of interest for me is Auditor General's office set to verify assets of public office holders. Now, the story is essentially that the Auditor General is beginning a process to put all assets as declared by public office holders or potential public office holders on a certain digital platform that they can be verified. Now, the problem they have is locating some of these assets, particularly houses. The complaint of the officials is that they can't find the exact location of some of the houses that have been declared by these public officers. They say they are, however, trying to scale this problem. And I'm wondering, what is the purpose of the digital address system? If somebody declares a particular home, why can't they put the digital address there so that they can easily trace them?
Or use the old system that the banks used to give us a direction to your house. There
are no house numbers.
Yeah,
so they should use the
one that you draw.
Yeah. They draw on the A4 sheet.
Yeah, so, I mean, we can't have excuses for not being able to implement this rule. I think our asset declaration regime is outdated, but at least ought to be implemented while we are.
You're not the only one who thinks that. I think almost all of our panelists during the last edition of Newsfile in 2019 agreed with you, Professor H.K. Kwesi Prempeh. A number of them did.
And that is why Godfrey Dami, who is a Deputy Attorney General, pointed out the last time that government is reforming the law in order to make it efficient and more effective.
When will it be ready? Because our government is there.
He didn't say. It's
a regular refrain.
He didn't say they are to reform. They said they are reforming.
Yes, so that's why I'm asking when it will be ready.
So let's move on whilst we wait for the law to be ready.
Okay, on the front page of the Today newspaper, Subin MP accused of blowing delegates' Christmas gifts. Ghana Baptist Convention receives $1.1 million medical items from Global Medical Aid, and NDC roars, vows to resist new voters' roll.
Now, the Ghanaian Observer is reporting this morning, retain NPP for betterment of Ghana, and Zongo Ministry vows to kick out open defecation, and local government expert tears NDC's noise against new voters register. And this is Eric Odrosai. Now, there's another one that says that Lotto Don grabs top award and Akufo-Addo gets commendation over massive achievements. Those are stories on the front page of the Ghanaian Observer.
The finder has don't compromise national ID data. That's the president cautioning stakeholders. Dr. Awal, who is a minister for business development, and Jogate, who is also minister for railways, are the best performing ministers for 2019. That's according to a survey, and we will stay focused despite your cartel label, that's Cocoa Board Boss, saying the NDC and other parties demonstrating against the new voters register is also on the front page of the Finder.
The Herald is reporting EC boss caught up in double standard, was against new voters register in election year in 2012. Attorney General abandons star witness in Opuni case, and Senate increases pensions by 11%.
Now, the New Crusading Guide is reporting this morning. Subin MP accused of blowing X-Man's gift from president meant for delegates, and that's a clarification. See, this is from the president, not from himself.
Okay.
It was meant for delegates.
So he was the middleman.
Yes, but it looks like they didn't reach the destination. That's what the New Crusading Guide is reporting this morning. And now, school feeding caterers exposed, demo leader paid. So the people who were back on the demonstration, apparently the person who led them has been paid the money, yet she was part of the team. But she's insisting that, no, I'm for the group, not for my personal comfort or discomfort in this particular case. And ASCII aircraft now death trap as inside rigs of exhaust fumes ACs 40 as passengers wonder whether it's plane or Okada. That's on the front page of the New Crusading Guard. And National Security Operatives sell lands at Chado, create tension for land buyers. Why are you looking at when I mention national security? It is about lands at Chiado. It's not about any other
matter.
Yes, video or non-video related matter.
Okay.
Unless they took a video of what's happening at Chado.
Oh, there's a video of the man on the ground.
Unless they took a video.
That's what
the video was not a call.
No, it's not a call. It just
there was no one wearing pajamas in that video.
Not at all. This is about tension about land buyers and the lands in Chiado. So this national security operative.
Chado.
Chiado, yes. And this national security operative is
Chado.
Father.
Can we move on? Can we just move on?
Step away from the word and the issue slowly.
Yes.
Anyway.
So he's been investigated finally.
My last paper is the Daily Guide newspaper, which has Ghana Turkey signed deal, UCC contractor clears a GES interdicts teacher rapist, and first Sky to build kidney transplant center. Interesting story on the front page of the Daily Guide though is police probe Kumasi killer's injury. Daniel, remember this gentleman who is being held by the police for allegedly killing a girlfriend in a hotel?
Yes.
Now the police are investigating him for a gunshot injury he has on his left hand finger. They say he was the one holding the gun. He did the shooting, killing his girlfriend in the hotel, and yet he himself sustained a gunshot wound on his left finger. Fourth finger. So the police are suspicious of that wound. They are wondering why the one wielding the gun ended up shooting himself in the finger, nowhere but just his finger. So the police are investigating that as part of their investigations in relation to this murder charge which they have brought against him. The last one on the front page of the Daily Guide is a story which has found itself in many of the front pages this morning. The NDC and other political parties holding a mega demonstration in Tamale in the Northern Regional Capital to protest preparations by the Electoral Commission to compile a new voters register. And
the subject of a new voters register, to have or not to have, is something that will feature on the show today. Let me take you online now, and Joy99.7FM has its top story: stadium shooting, injured fan stable and responding to treatment, according to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. NSMQ 2020 and Fanspin begins road to redemption in Central Region qualifiers. I turned Raymond's mic off for this one. Iran plane down in second day of protest, turn up heat on the protesters are turning up the heat on the leaders in Iran. Please, let's focus on that. CNR, that's citynewsroom.com. Federation of Labour calls for cool heads in voters register impasse. Auditor Peki SHS Beza in custody over alleged foodstuff bribe, and migration of Tutag others into public universities. Pay structure completed, according to the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. StarFM.com has as its banner headline, "Respected Kandapa must resign." A+ speaking there. Ashanti Region Police shoot Kotokofan in the eye at Baba Yara, and Kandapa side chick leaks romantic tape. That's on StarFM.com.gh. The BBC has as part of its stories on its website, Philippine Tal volcano begins spewing lava, and there are talks to resume over Ethiopia's mega dam, and Gambia has warned its exiled leader not to seek return. Yaya Jammeh featuring there again. Let's get into the details of the story, shall we?
Now, there's a story that you sure should be interested in. That's on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. It says that there's a big rot that's happening at the Ghana Health Service, and this involves some internal auditors. They are implicated in the embezzlement of millions of cedis. So instead of actually coming to do the audit and presenting their proper findings, they end up colluding with people within these institutions to actually cover up the rots that they are supposed to expose. And there's an external kind of engagement that happened at the Ghana Health Service, which seems to have covered the rot we're talking about. It brings my attention to an incident that we consistently followed. Last time we heard of it, the Auditor General was supposed to do some review of the situation, and that is to do with the amount of money we lost when we had to go through, is it 290 million, also when we had to buy some what they call it, facilities, and the place got burnt at the Ghana medical stores. The first investigation was done. Government actually ordered another investigation. The Auditor General was supposed to do audits,
some forensic audits.
Very good on that. As of today, we've not heard much from that, and this is compounding the problem there. We always are cap in hand begging other states for small money, and yet here in this country we have so much wasted on these resources. Hopefully, if we get, as is happening now, if we get more external auditors coming to review the situation and telling us that there's this road that's been covered by internal auditors, we can get to the bottom of this.
When the waste happens, we never get conclusions on the matter.
Yes,
there are
always somebody is working on something.
Absolutely. I think we should be more interested in all of these matters as much as we are interested in elections, because it would seem that we pay particular attention only to elections and matters relating to elections. That's why you will have matters relating to a voters register dominating discussions, and all over the years it's a big issue. Everybody is talking about it,
which is exactly the point I was making last week, Malik. That's the passion that 19 to 25 political parties have shown in the past few days about a voter register. I wish that same passion would be shown when the results fair is going on, so that they will be all join us in marking exactly what the government has done and measuring the progress that the nation has made.
2015, there was a protest against a protest demanding a new register.
Yeah.
Now there's a protest against the compilation of a new register.
Let's go on the phone lines and speak with law lecturer and private legal practitioner Clara Bieri Kasati, who has been speaking on this issue, especially on social media. Lawyer, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Daniel, and good morning to your listeners.
Where do you stand on this matter?
Well, I think that the issues, as you noted, I have expressed already. We looking at ourselves because we grow. That's what democracy is about. That's what development is about. We grow. Since 1992, we have had voters registers. And we should treat the Electoral Commission as an institution that came into being since our democracy in the Fourth Republic. Now, for all the registers they have, what is the best way for any institution to go forward? In 2020, we shouldn't be having the politics of a new register or a no new register. That's not what the EC should allow to happen. And that's not what we should be engaging in today in a technological age. We have had a database. I think any group of people who want to minimize costs and make sure that we maximize everything to the interest of our country, we probably should at some point have started updating rather than starting afresh. The problem is it's not just the money. The money is a big issue because we are not a country that has so much resources to spare that we don't worry what we use the resources for. We have to start being efficient, and we have to start looking at what is the best for us as a people at this stage. Now, yes, there's the issue of the cost. There's also the issue of the inconvenience that taxpayers go through that nobody seems to talk about. Anytime we have to vote to go and register again for a new register, the long queues, the time, the resources, people have to travel up and down to their constituencies and all of that. We can't disrespect that. To behave as if that doesn't matter. It's more or less disrespecting the people because their convenience and their time matters. If it is for a good reason, why not? But in this case, is that really a good reason?
The reason that has been given by the Electoral Commission is that the integrity of the data that we have is compromised, and so we need to gather the data again because people are on the register who are not supposed to be there. Is that not worth the stress and the hassle it goes through that you go through?
When you have what does updating a register mean? Does it not include taking out people who should not be on the register and including new people who ought to be on the register at a particular point in time? No matter what register we have, we always have to update it because new people become of age, they have to register. When people get to 18, they have to register, they have to vote. So we always keep updating it. What about taking out names that should not be there? From 1992, we have not established a means by which we can update the register by taking out names of people that should not be there. Is that what we are saying? Aside from that, we have to start looking at the data that we gather across the country. Now we are hoping to have a national identification system. The point of all state institutions is that they have one client. All state institutions have one client, and that client is the people of Ghana. So it should always be possible for state institutions to cooperate with one another. And where important, have a common database that citizens can rely on for the interest of the citizens. So why are we interested in creating separate systems all the time? So we have National Identification Authority. Now we are going to have the voters register. We are going to have a lot of other biometric details that we provide, and we don't see that they are collaborating or synchronizing the data. In a technological age as today, in 2020, is that really what we should be doing as a people? And if we are doing that, is that efficiency?
So, Ms. Kasati, the second leg of this conversation that we've been having in studio is the interest that the elections industry in Ghana generates. You see the interest of all of these political parties, and a lot of us have been wondering how, compared to the development of the nation, you don't see, for instance, some of these smaller political parties being engaged in it. As a concerned Ghanaian, what do you make of this?
Precisely. Yes, it's understandable that politicians are interested in elections, but elections are supposed to develop people. All we can do is we can't just be doing only elections, more or less. The only thing that can be important is not elections. Elections is very important, obviously, but aside the political parties, there are also the people, because at the end of the day, really, the legal framework for our democracy is that sovereignty is in the people. So at the point in time, everybody has to act in what is in the best interest of the people. We want to be honest with ourselves and ask ourselves, is that what we are doing at this stage?
So, ma'am, beyond talking and beyond posting on Facebook and, granting radio interviews, what can the public do, really, to move the decision of the Electoral Commission?
Well, what I always say that, yes, we have a system where the sovereignty relies on the people, yet the sovereignty is a powerless people, because when it comes to taking concrete action, there is little that the people can do. I always say that it is unfair to put unreasonable burden on private persons, because private persons have their own burdens. They may not have the time and resources all the time to be doing what public officers have to do just by thinking about the welfare of the people and being efficient. Yes, people can. One of the things they can do is the scrutiny. The scrutiny is important because it is public scrutiny that makes institutions better. For those who can, yes, if there is reason they should go to court, they should. But on this issue, for what reason, really? Is this one of the issues we should be going to court to say we should have a new register or we should not have a new register? It is not all things that you can go to court for an answer for. Some of the things you sit and you talk. You sit and you debate. You bring arguments back and forth, and then at the end of the day, you look through the issues and you take the best decisions.
Right.
Sometimes that is the best thing to do at a particular point in time.
Right. Claribel Cassidy, thank you very much for joining us this morning. She's a law lecturer. She's also a private legal practitioner. Still live on the news review here on the Super Morning Show on Joy99.7 FM. The online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank, in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy. The Ifeanyi promo is still alive, and many like Ibrahim Lukman from Winchi, Benjamin Otri from Kaswa Iron City, and Abdul Karim Abubakar from Yendi have received 1,000 CDs, 500 CDs, and 300 CDs worth of free fuel. Others are getting plenty instant rewards. So just drive to any Goil station, buy 100 CDs worth of fuel or more, and for motorbikes, 30 CDs or more, get a card, scratch it, and dial *161 *4645 hash. Follow the prompt or go to the App Store, download the Goil promo app, sign up with the phone number, and receive a one-time activation code. More rewards are awaiting you. Goil Ifeanyi promo. Terms and conditions apply. Goil, your Hall of Fame petroleum company. Goil, good energy. Goil, Yenara Yedia. Now, on your marks, get set, spend. Yes, spend and get rewarded this new year. Earn fantastic rewards on your purchases when you shop online or abroad with your Zenith MasterCard. You heard right? Spend a minimum of 3,000 Ghana cedis using your Zenith MasterCard and be rewarded. The more you spend, the bigger your reward. So don't miss out. Promo ends on January 31, 2020. Visit any Zenith Bank branch and sign up today for your Zenith MasterCard. It's free. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. You're still live on the Super Morning Show on Joy99.7FM. We'll be back.